It's 34 days to kick off. Nigeria's politicians have been getting ready for what many call the World Cup of politics in Africa. A game that will be won by the numbers. The chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu, says all votes will count. Question tonight, however, is who are those that will vote? Babajide Ogunsanwo, founder of Leadership by Data and Channels Television's data analyst, is here to share insights on the demography of voters. Babajide, great to see you.
Did you just almost call me Babajide Sanwo?
You know your names sound alike. I'm so sorry. Also, apologies to the governor. But I don't see a crystal ball here where you're looking into to predict these elections. But I suppose that your analysis tonight will be based on the fact that more youths actually registered or have registered to vote in this year's elections. So how easy will it be to answer the question of how many youths are in Nigeria or how many youths are on the election database?
So, first of all, to answer the question of how many youths are in Nigeria, we'll have to know how many Nigerians do we have. And that answer hopefully will come from the census later this year. But my analysis tonight, I'll share some facts that will make some people sad and make some people happy. The analysis and the facts I'll share will make some people sleep well tonight and it will keep some others awake. It will make some people lose hope, yet it will give some people hope.
Give us the facts.
Now let's take a look at exactly what has happened between 2019 and 2023, especially looking at the facts as released from the Independent National Electoral Commission. In 2019, Amarachi, there were 84 million people on the database. Those that will classify as the effective youth voting bloc, YVB, 18 to 35-year-olds, 42.9 million Nigerians on that database in 2019. In simple terms, 51% of those on the database in 2019 were youths. Again, I'll repeat, 42.9 million out of the 84 million on the database as at 2019 were youths, more than half. Based on the facts we have today, the numbers have significantly changed, they have significantly deteriorated. We now have a situation where, yes, we have 93.4 million people on the database. That youth voting bloc, 18 to 35, we now only have 39.5 million. So what this means is that the youth concentration in the voter database has declined from 51% of which was the position in 2019, to the situation where today we have only 42% of youths on the database. So what we've seen over the past 4 years is that those that are 32, 33, 34-year-olds that we had on that database in 2019 have migrated. They've graduated to that category that we call above 35-year-olds. But what we've seen is in the last 4 years, fewer people, fewer 18-year-olds, 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds have joined the database. Let me make it more simple for you. The database as at 2019 was more youthful. This database is not as youthful as the database of 2019, and that is the fact. A situation where those that are above 35-year-olds, 35-year-old, are those that are the majority on this database. That was not the situation 4 years ago.
Yeah, but also keep in mind that many young people have also left the country, right? So even with the elections coming, how much of an impact will young Nigerians have on the polls?
So it depends on those that, yes, some youths will listen to this information and will lose hope. Some will listen to it and will have hope. But the fact shows that there are some states in Nigeria where we still have high youth voter concentration. And so I'd like us to look at the top 10 states where the youths will play the bigger role. That is where we should focus on at first. And if we look at those top 10 states, the state that has, as at today, the highest concentration of youths, 18 to 35 in their database, is Plateau State. 53% of the names on the electoral database in Plateau are Nigerians between the age of 18 to 35. No other state has that sort of youth concentration on its database. The next highest, Taraba State, and if you interestingly look at those top 10 states, Amachi, here's what you find. All the states in Nigeria that have the highest youth concentration are in the north. Across these top 10 states, 5 of them are in the north central, 4 in the northeast, and one in the Northwest. So when it comes to youth participation, the exact phrase we should say is that it's the northern youths that would influence who will...
The northern youths who have registered to vote.
Northern youths, and the evidence even shows that it's the youths in the North Central that have the highest youth concentration on the database. So it'll be interesting in another 34 days, after the election, once the result starts coming out, to really see what the youths in northern Nigeria did.
Yeah, I know we'll have you here when that happens. So will there be any surprises on the states that have a relatively lower percentage of youths on the electoral database?
Yes, a lot. And the facts will shock a lot of Nigerians. Let's look at the bottom 10 states with the least youth concentration, the states where the youths are less likely to rule. And if we quickly look at the bottom 10 states, yes, Edo is ranked number 27, Ondo 28, but the fact shows that Lagos is the worst performing state when it comes to youth registration.
That is shocking.
Out of this over 7 million people that are on the electoral database in Lagos, only 2 million are youths between the age of 18 to 35. Every other state in Nigeria has a better youth concentration than Lagos. In other words, in Lagos, it is not the youths that will determine who will become president, governor, House of Assembly, or whatever elections. It is going to be those that are above the age of 35. And that starts giving us an inclination to the sort of election result patterns and trends we'll see.
Babajide, you weren't lying tonight when you said we'll be shocked at some of the results that you presented.
Oh yes, well, in the next
tonight.
34 days, we'll be doing a lot more analysis on across the 6 regions. But in the final analysis, Amrachi, I need to ask you.
And a quick one too.
Based on this, are you still a youth?
I am still a youth.
Amrachi.
And you're still a youth as well. I mean, even though you have some gray
Some
hair,
other time we'll discuss that.
You're still a youth. Even according to the United Nations, we still are youths. Thanks again, Babajide.
The pleasure is all mine.
Stop asking embarrassing questions on air.